B sharp, is that it? You sure?
My name is Eleni Abreu. I'm in the 8th grade and I play saxophone.
Everyone together, two. Just A minor pentatonic. 1, 2, ready, and go.
I like playing music because I feel like I can express myself. When I play saxophone, I like the sound of it because it's louder, so I'm heard. Before I played music, I was quiet. I kept to myself and I wasn't very confident and I was always shy and timid. But now I'm more confident and I'm louder when I speak and I'm more outspoken, I think.
Did you stop playing your saxophone after junior high school? Has your electric bass been stashed deep in your coat closet ever since your folks finally prevailed upon you to go to law school? Are you ever really going to get back into playing them?
Meanwhile, too many schools don't have orchestra or band programs because they don't have access to instruments. Even the gently used ones lost in storage across the city. WQXR, the classical musical radio station, wants to change that with its WQXR Instrument Drive. With us today is Graham Parker, General Manager of WQXR and Vice President of New York Public Radio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. And Piruz Partow, the Artistic Executive Director of the Brooklyn Music School. Welcome. A partner in the Instrument Drive.
We also have Lonnie Hampton, who teaches band at PS 20 and PS 282. Welcome.
Thank you.
And last but definitely not least is flautist Nathalie Joachim. She not only co-founded the urban art duo Flutronix and is a faculty member at the Juilliard School, but she's going to grace us with a little concert at the end of the show, so definitely stay tuned. Thank you all for being here.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you guys.
First and foremost, why is music important in schools?
Well, I think that's a pretty easy question. Most parents, I think if not all parents, understand the importance of music. There is a definite emphasis on testing in schools, and I think they understand the empowerment that music gives to all students. Not only just confidence, leadership skills, being able to express yourself, finding another voice within, not to mention the effect that it has on math, communication. The effects are really endless.
Right, kind of discipline and focus, I've heard.
Absolutely.
What would you say as a teacher?
Yes, I think I second that as well. And just to add on, I think it also provides an opportunity for kids to learn to play in a cooperative environment, to learn to experience what it's like to be in a band. You know.
Everybody kind of has to work together, right?
Yeah, I still remember my band teacher. I definitely remember being there, and it is something to be a part of something that's so much bigger than yourself, and to be in the mix of that. And do you have sort of a specific? I mean, we sort of talking about how it empowers kids, but have you kind of experienced? I'm sure you've experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, I think it just lets kids, like you said, a voice. It's a second, and as the video just stated, it's another way to voice, to express yourself. You know? That's how I started, and I'm pretty sure that's how us all have.
Yeah. So then to keep that going, WQXR steps in and says, you need instruments, we're going to get you instruments.
That's the idea, and I mean, it's not just us going to get them, it's our listeners, anyone who hears about it,
right?
It's anyone who's got one. It's the idea of just putting, you know, people who have something they don't use anymore in the hands of someone who needs it.
Right.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So,
So
when
how does it work?
Yeah.
You're like, we have it right back here.
Right, exactly.
So it actually all kicks off tomorrow. So we've got this 10-day drop-off period from March 28th to April 7th, and we've got a lot of drop-off locations all throughout the 5 boroughs, Long Island, Westchester, and New Jersey. You can get everything at wqxr.org/kids. All the drop-off locations are there, and it's very simple. You go through your closet, go up into the attic, go into the basement, pull out the instrument, take it to the drop-off location, fill in a form, you get the tax deduction
Nice.
as well, and then we will repair it, or Sam
Okay.
Ash will repair it,
okay.
put it in a new case, and then we will match it up with a public school in the fall.
So Sam Ash is a sponsor.
Sam Ash is a really big partner. A lot of the drop-off locations are at Sam Ash.
Okay.
We also have the Brooklyn Music School, and we have Bronx Museum, Snug Harbor in Staten Island, and
Nice.
others in the neighborhood, in the area. Sorry, and then Sam Ash takes care of them, assesses them, and then repairs them, and then we match them with the schools.
Okay, so now again, just to be clear, what kind of instruments are
Right.
you collecting? Is
So
it
here's
anything?
the idea: if you can lift it over your if you can lift it over your head, we
Okay.
want it. If you can't, we can't take it. So we
Oh.
can't take a piano,
Okay.
for example. That's
Darn.
really
I
strong.
had a
Okay.
spare one in my
Yeah,
pocket. I was going to drop it off.
But then I thought
Yeah.
maybe I'm not that
Cover over your
strong.
head. But so we can't take pianos, but there are great other places to donate pianos. So
Yeah.
people
Okay.
should not think about not donating pianos. And like large, really heavy percussion instruments, like a kettle drum or a timpani, can't take that. But pretty much everything else, and a harp, can't really use harps.
Harp.
But
Okay.
that's heavy to
Okay.
lift.
Okay.
But,
Right.
Anything else?
Yeah. Lonnie, are there instruments that are in particular are lacking in the classroom?
Yes, saxophones are one. The lack of string instruments is what I see. I'm only speaking the two schools I'm in, but yeah, those instruments there.
Yeah. Is it because people just think that they're just gonna play sax later because it's such a sexy instrument?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Seriously.
wait, and I'm just trying to drill down into why the saxophones
I
are
think it's
still in
just
the
too heavy.
closet.
When it's, so they think it's too heavy, and when it snows, I don't know, maybe they think it's just a little extra thing to carry. But I don't know. It's-
Okay. Well, I think that something that I feel like we've been hearing for such a long time. Oh, we're lacking in music departments in school. Kids aren't having these same experiences. But now it's kind of feeling like a long time since we had really good music programs in schools. Does anybody want to speak to that? And
Well, I think, again, there's a lot of emphasis on a lot of different things. Like I said, the testing, a lot of parents complain about athletics are really important, which
Right.
we all know the benefits of those as well. But I think music has really gone by the wayside, especially in a lot of public schools. And that's why the charter school conversation has become very big, because they've contacted the Brooklyn Music School and found other resources to be able to provide music for their institutes. So it seems like now the public schools have gained a little bit of momentum, and this is why this instrument drive is very important, is to take that momentum and arm the students with the possibilities of being able to learn music. So we're hoping for a reemergence, and the Brooklyn Music School has been able to harbor the students that have not been able to find a home and an opportunity to make music in the public schools. But we've also really enjoyed the emergence of really good public school education, because the students often come to us for enhancement learning.
okay, that's
Beautiful,
great.
beautiful.
Well, Natalie, when did you start
I
playing
know,
the
I was
flute?
just, now I started wondering what your experience was like as a kid.
I actually wouldn't play the flute if it weren't for my local band and public school system. I grew up in New Jersey, and I started playing flute 20 years ago. I was just 9 years old, and it was actually a requirement in the 4th grade to either play an orchestral instrument or sing in the choir. And so I chose flute kind of by chance, and it was one of the best, I don't know, I guess you could say accidental choice decisions I ever made, really. But it was my first band teacher who then sort of saw something in me and got me to audition for the music advancement program at Juilliard. And then I went on from that program to the pre-college program to college there, and I'm now a faculty member back at the music advancement program, which is really wonderful because the program itself serves to really foster a lot of these students who are doing well and just starting their instruments, but maybe have moved on to a school that doesn't have a music program, and have moved on to schools where there isn't really a place for them to sort of continue fostering their love for music. So it's great to be back at the program, and it's great to be a part of that program because it is a wonderful supplement to a lot of the public schools around in the city.
Nice. So tell us about Flutronics, because you've kind of taken the flute to another level.
Yes. So Flutronics is my urban art pop duo. We are both classically trained flutists who had a really strong love for lots of different genres of music, ranging from electronic to hip hop and jazz and R&B and soul. And so the two of us sort of came together about 6 years ago and decided to bring all of these worlds together in a marriage of a sound that we now call urban art pop. We are flutists who are classically trained, who love the flute, but also see the value of it in lots of these other genres. So we kind of decided to forge our own path in that way, and it's been really wonderful. A big part of what we do, of course, is music education, lectures and workshops for students everywhere from kindergarten through the university level. And that's really meaningful work to us. It's a really big part of what we do beyond performing as an ensemble. And the number of school kids that we're able to see and show that this is something that you can really do. One day, not that long ago, I was a student just like you, practicing in my band class and hanging out with my friends and playing in our concerts at school, and it suddenly blossomed into something much larger. So it's really wonderful to touch the lives of those children and to really be a role model for them.
Okay, and is this what you're hoping happens with students, that they get to a place where they're like her, or at least that they are exposed to this possibility?
That's the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
but I would say that a small percentage of our students go on to become professional musicians, and it's always great. But I think that for me as an educator, and I'm sure you all will agree, is that when the students come back to say hi, whether they're lawyers, doctors, Indian chiefs, martial arts experts, or whatever, they understand in hindsight what the opportunity was that they had. And this is really, I think, the importance of this instrument drive, is to be able to give students, youngsters, lifelong impact to really that will be with them for the rest of their lives, regardless of whether or not they make it or they play at a very high level. The music will really make them better people.
And Graham, you are investing in the future of the station, right?
Yeah, well, I mean it's a small part of it. I mean that's not the direct goal here. But I mean we lots of people listen to WQXR for all sorts of different reasons, where they're real experts, or as Piruz is saying, just they love just the sound of the music and they use it for background or for keeping their kids entertained. And sure, it's really a part of us to make sure that there is an audience of the future. And there's definite evidence that if you put music in a kid's life at some point, their interest in the arts in general just goes up. And it might not, as I say, they might not be a performer, a professional performer, but they'll appreciate it. And that's what I think a strong society benefits from, having people who just appreciate art, whether it's visual, ballet, dance, music, whatever it may be.
Preach it.
Exactly.
Well, Nathalie, I'm ready to appreciate some of your art. Why don't you tell us the name of the piece that you're going to play for us?
I'll be performing Syrinx by Claude Debussy.
Okay, great. you.
Thank you so much for that, Nathalie.
Yeah, that was Nathalie Joachim of Flutronics, and
right.
people need to donate their instruments.
They do.
I know you just got inspired, and you think that you're going to go get your flute, but you're not. You need to donate it. Right?
Indeed, I agree. I agree. If you've got, extra instruments that have been sitting around, please donate them. I'm sure some New York City student will be very, very glad to have it. So we want to thank again all of our guests for joining us today on BK Live.